Is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I thank you for taking the time. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we are a couple days away from the draft. My health is really getting in the way of trying to put out this content here, but we're getting there, dude, and we are here. The cornerbacks are tonight. Yes, we are talking cornerbacks, and you know how desperately I feel. The Eagles need one, so this is going to be exciting. So thank you for tuning in. Any questions, comments you have, feel free to throw them my way. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, turning that notification bell on, and joining me as we talk some birds. So let's get pumped up. The Eagles have 10 picks in this upcoming draft. And look, there are so many holes on this team. We need a lot of depth pieces, a lot of starters, all kinds. And we're going to talk about, just like we have in every position, we've got two left, cornerback. Tomorrow will be safety. But here we have, oh man, some real talent at the cornerback position. So we're going to get into it, talk about where the Eagles could address the position, whether that's in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Maybe we get a 6-rounder. We'll see, but we don't have one now, so just a 7th. But 10 picks. We'll find out. But the cornerback position right now for the Philadelphia Eagles, Darius Slay. We all know what a great pickup that was. A 3rd round and 5th rounder, I believe it was. Man, great trade. Now you've got Steven Nelson, who signed with the Texans. So there's a hole outside. Avonte Maddox did great as the nickel cornerback, much better than he did outside. The hope is Zach McPherson can play out there. We'll see how he progresses in year 2. But beyond that, a lot of what ifs. So Josiah Scott can help out as that dime backer that we talked about. Look, there was so many injuries that prevented and just so many holes that, really Jonathan Gannon had some good ideas. There were just really not the players to do the things that needed to be done. So I really feel we could add here. Tay Gowan, would love to see how he progresses in his second year. That was a nice little sprinkle on top of that Zach Ertz trade. So we'll see what this young man could do. Mac McCain, Craig James there. We'll see if these guys can make the roster on some special teams work, maybe some depth there, but we'll find out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. Let's talk about where and how we're doing this is just talking about each round. We'll go round 1, then we'll do day 2, we'll do day 3. We'll talk about all those guys and some of the options that Eagles could have. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know who you like. Maybe there's someone not on these lists that you would like to talk about or haven't talked about, heard about, whatever. Let me know. And look, there is plenty of tape on these guys, and I'd love to direct you in the right way. So let's get into it. We'll start with round 1. And there are some talented cornerbacks in this damn draft. And in round 1, oh, yeah. So let's just talk about this. There are some definite options. There are some other guys who can maybe sneak into the first. Maybe some of these guys aren't taken in the first. Depends on how the run on corners goes, just like pretty much any other position. But for me, I think we need to do all we can to go after a corner. We've been talking about this, and I know that there are all kinds of different opinions on who the best cornerback is in this draft. But for me, it is none other than the sauce man, Ahmad Gardner out of Cincinnati. This dude is the real deal. And look, I mean, at 6'2", 6'3", whatever you want to list him at, 188, 190, this kid is all around the kind of corner we're looking for. And, you put him on the opposite side of Darius Slay. Obviously, Darius Slay is not going to be around forever. This is just something, a big dude, long, linear mother effer that can just get out there. I love his handwork, man. He's out there hitting dudes. He's a great press corner. He really can do it all. And I think it's a no-brainer for me that Sauce Gardner, if you can find your way to trade up, and look, you're going to see a trade. I can almost guarantee it. Come draft day, I really feel that there is going to be some kind of trade that goes down. I really just feel, whether I'm not saying just for Sauce Gardner, but maybe we trade up. Maybe we get the defensive player we like at 15 in a Jordan Davis, and then we're like, you know what? Let's try to trade that 18th pick and maybe obviously some more if you're trying to go after someone like a Deebo Samuel. Pick him up, and people, oh, why would you do that? You got to pay him. Yes, you want to pay the good players. So you get him. If it doesn't cost too much, go out, do whatever you got to do. Or draft one of these stud wide receivers. There are so many options here. I just really feel a corner is definite need. Edge rusher, we've talked about getting a nose tackle, getting a linebacker, outside line. I mean, there's a lot of options here in this draft. So That's why we've gone through each position. So there was Sauce Gardner. Now, other people's, look, Derek Stingley Jr. is the real deal. Now, his injury is the only reason that people are, knocking him down the list, whatever. I don't care. This kid is still, in my book, one of the best, and he is going to be phenomenal. So if you could get him, I'm more than fine with that too. And he's like 6'1". I think he plays and looks a lot bigger than he is too. So this dude, I don't give a damn about his injury. And look, I know and people will say, oh, well, I don't want to play that because of Sidney Jones or that. Look, Landon Dickerson, he's working out fine. So you cannot just say, oh, this guy's been injured. Everybody's been injured. And you just hope everybody stays healthy. I can't think that, especially with a guy that is just as gifted as he is. I really think that this kid and Sauce Gardner, either one for me, hell yeah, give him to me. This kid is just phenomenal. He's fast as hell. And I think it was a list Frank or something. Look, I don't think that's going to slow him down. I think this kid's going to come out and he's going to be just as damn good. So if you can nab one of those guys, I'm all aboard that. But I don't think you're getting them at 15. So you're going to have to find a way to move up if you want one of those guys. I will be surprised if we trade up for them. I'm not going to be surprised by anything. Keep saying the Eagles might trade their 15th pick for Debo. Yeah, they're going to say all kinds of stuff. It's a wild time. The draft is coming up, so rumors will be ablaze. We're just talking about the what ifs here. And look, I've been talking about Debo for a long time now. You know that, I believe, almost a month ago. You might have actually been that first video that you saw. So I've been talking about those things. The Eagles have options. We have shown, look, I think I actually, let's go find it. I think I have that graphic here. You're looking at a lot of picks for the future here, the next 3 years. So you've got ammo to trade and get Debo Samuel. And then people say, well, you got to pay him. You don't have money. That's incorrect. We do have money. You can restructure things. And the way you would do it is give him a new contract. You give him a big signing bonus. He gets the money up front. You have small cap hit the first couple of years, and you see that big chunk of money in 2024. That's how you get something like that done. All possibilities, but you can also just draft somebody. So very excited to see that. And if you don't get one of those guys, you don't want to trade up, and you're just at 15, 18, whatever the odds may be that you want to go after a corner, whatever it is, Kaiir Elam is also the real deal. And I think some people are sleeping on this kid. And I'll be honest with you, I'd be happy to get him too. So you wouldn't have to trade things. You wouldn't have to get rid of things. But dude, another elite speed, 4.3 speed. Dude, I just really think that Elam is somebody that I would add into this team and be perfectly happy about it. But I just think that he's an all-around kind of corner that you're looking for. And there's just not much else to really sit here and say about him other than the fact that I want him desperately. And I will say the same thing about Andrew Booth. Look, these guys are all really good corners. But if I were to pick out of these four in the first round, I'm not taking Andrew Booth. For me, the option is those other three. Elam, I'd be okay. Maybe at 18, I get it. But there's some other options I'd probably take first. Just depends on how the cookies crumble. But for Andrew Booth, I think for me, the scenario is you trade back there. If you want to get him, you figure out what you're doing, what other teams are doing, you try to grab him later. If not, I mean, maybe you miss out. Well, then let's take a focus on the second or third rounds. And I really think there are some guys that could really be some surprise picks here. And I would be more than excited for the Philadelphia Eagles to get. And there's a lot of names on this list here, but check out this comment here real quick. And I can't wait. The draft Thursday night. We have a long conversation on here after. Oh, yeah, man. I always break it down before, and then we'll talk about it after each pick. We'll talk about the draft as a whole afterwards. So, yes, we will be breaking it down, Anthony. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. But, yes, dude, I love it. I live for it. So I'll be breaking down every single pick, and we'll be talking about the whole draft. So I hope you will definitely tune in. Really excited to see it, man. I'm pumped. I really am. Think we're going to have a good draft, man. We had a great draft last year. We have 10 picks right now, but I just showed you the money and the picks we have. So we could be trading for players. We could be getting rid of guys like Gardner Minshew, Andre Dillard, Isaac Seumalo, maybe. I mean, there are so many things that could happen. Just strap in, ladies and gentlemen. Some people will try to be negative. I hate this. It's like, dude, who cares? Yes, I know. We passed on Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf. So did everybody else, dude. Whatever, man. I'm just really trying to look forward. And I think this team, we need to add some pieces. Obviously, a lot of pieces on defense. Give Jalen Hurts a couple more weapons. And I really think that these guys, man, there are some weapons. Go check out that wide receiver video. I really think this team could be on the up sooner than most people think. So, hey, I'm all about it. Now, let's talk about some of these corners. One of these guys that I think is, really being slept on, Zion McCollum, listed at 6'4", sometimes listed at 6'2". But the dude, to me, looks like he's about 6'3", 6'4". He's a giant. I think I would be more than excited to have this kid. And look, he's a skinny dude for his size. And I think obviously that's one of the knocks on him, that he really needs to put on some weight. And look, if that's one of your knocks, that's fine. But he's tall, he's long, he's fast as hell. For his size, man, I just really would love to see this kid. He's got 13 interceptions. Look, 2 touchdowns there. I just really think that this dude would be a no-brainer pick for the Eagles if he could drop into the 3rd round. You're looking with one of those 3rd-round picks. Yes, sign me up. And another guy, I think, if he would be in the 3rd round there, hasn't had much time playing, dealing with some injuries and things, but I think this kid, he's another one where physical dude, that's kind of what I'm looking for here. Not too much of the nickelbacks. And I really think that only 1 year as a starter, but going to Alabama just gives you that edge. I think we all realize that, right? But he's got a lot of progression to be had here, and I think he will definitely find it. I just really think that with the right system, this kid could really be something. So in the 3rd round, I think he could go just because he's from Alabama. Maybe he falls a little bit, but I'd be intrigued by him. But there are some guys that I think in the 2nd round would really be enticing, and that's Martin Emerson here from Mississippi State. This kid, 6'2", 195 pounds. You can sign me up because this dude is long and strong, just like the rest of the guys we've been talking about. I really just think that's what the Eagles could use here. And this kid could maybe fall into the 4th, but I think, some people are finding out about him. I think he could go into the 2nd. So we got him in this weird mid-tier where could be 3rd, but I think with someone with his traits, I just really think that somebody's going to see him, as a press man guy. I really think, someone could take a stab at him a little bit sooner than most people think. But I just really think you never know with this class. It's very talented. There's even another guy that I feel being overshadowed by, Ahmad Gardner is Coby Bryant. And yes, he was named after Coby Bryant. Man, I feel old as hell that someone is named after, like, what? And they're going, oh, my God, old as hell. This dude, his knock is, not the fastest. He's got like 4 or 5 speed. Apparently that's not fast. Like, whatever, dude. Yeah, he's not the fastest, but I really like this kid. I think you could use him as a defensive back. Just move him all over the place, outside, inside, maybe a little bit of safety work. Really like this kid. I think he's just got that great size, and he could be a great outside corner. So I'm not saying he has to move around, but I think this dude is just a really fun kid to watch. He was actually good against the run from what I saw too. So I like what I had seen, and he actually is a ball hawk too. 9 interceptions you see there. So got great hands. So I'd love to see him on the Philadelphia Eagles, but I just think, obviously, being overshadowed, that'll do that to you, but he's got some work to do. He's got slow legs at times, slow footwork at times. I think his hips at times could use some work getting on the inside. Look, this kid's good and he's young, but he could use a little bit more refining. I think in the right system, I'd be all for adding a Coby Bryant, and maybe you have to go in the 2nd round, but I think maybe if he falls to 3rd, that'd be very intriguing. If not, there's guys like Tariq Woolen, who I really think this kid is a freak athlete, 6'4", 205 pounds. My God. Now, this kid needs some work. He really does. But I think this kid could actually even jump up. He's something of a phenom. I just really think that he is amazing to watch, but I don't know how other teams are going to feel about him. He's really fun. I think he had like 4.2 speed, 4.26, I believe was his 40. That's kind of insane, but speed isn't everything. So look, he needs a lot of work, but I just think when you have the athletic talent that this kid does, he doesn't have great instincts. And I think that his awareness isn't the best at times, and you'll see it in his tape, but I think with the athletic ability he has, you have to take a shot at someone like him. And speaking of athletic ability, Marcus Jones. Now, this dude, he would obviously have to play some nickel back for you, help out and dime back him. There, he definitely could use some work. But I will be honest with you. My Lord, is this kid amazing in the return game. And you know how desperately I want the Eagles to add something to the return game. So, ladies and gentlemen, if someone like Marcus Jones is there with one of those third-round picks, you have to take a stab at him. I really think this kid is fun to watch. Now, because of his size, maybe he falls. Maybe people are smoking that good stuff. Maybe he falls in the fourth, but I do not know, man. I think this kid he's worth the third-round pick, in my opinion, just because of that elite return. Oh, man, if we could add someone like him, he's worth it. He really is. And I'd be ecstatic if the Eagles would add someone like Marcus Jones. So sign me up there. And we get a cam in. Let's go Birds. You know it, dude. I'm pretty pumped up. I'm not going to lie to you. I really, dealing with all this sickness I'm dealing with, I'm sorry if I'm not conveying all the energy I usually do, but going through it here, but we're trying. And I'll be honest, man, on Thursday, I'm probably running through that wall right there because I can't wait. And I know big things are coming. Got 2 picks. We'll see what we do with them. And then the next days after that, it's going to be fun. So I think on Saturday, though, is my kid's opening day baseball game. So it's very intriguing with all of those picks we have. So I'm going to have to keep it real from where I'm at. Hope you're following me on Twitter. Keep you guys updated with all the picks, everything going on. And then when I get home, I'll have to do the video on all of the picks. So it's going to be an intriguing weekend, but hope this is a great draft and we have a great time talking about all these picks. But I'll do a recap each night. We'll talk about all the picks. I'm looking forward to it. Now, if you don't get any of those guys, maybe you can find some guys that fall a little bit here. And a lot of these guys on this list, I'd be perfectly okay with. Now, I really feel you need to address this position, so I would be okay if you got someone and then added another player. So at this point, though, you're looking at someone like Derion Kendrick, and I think his off-the-field issues is something that's going to hold him back. Maybe he falls past the 5th round, but yeah, I guess that, and it was just last year that he got in trouble. So I guess those things can definitely take their toll on you. I mean, he got kicked out of Clemson, so that's not a great look for you. But I think this dude, very versatile, and he'd be perfect for Jonathan Gannon's schemes, looking for somebody that can play that man zone, move around. I really like the kid's game. Just sucks that he got in trouble. I think it was like drug and gun stuff. So it is what it is. But man, if he falls, that's somebody that I would be very intrigued to see the Eagles get. So we'll see what they do. But if they don't, maybe you're looking in the later rounds, 6, 7. And there's some guys you could get here that I think would do well in this system. And one of those guys is from good old Nova, Christian Benford. And I think this dude's definitely slept on. And he's big, 6'1", 205, but he just plays bigger, looks bigger. He's physical, man, and he's a ball hawk. That's something you love to see. 14 interceptions there. I just think this kid is somebody because he went to Nova. It's his knock on him, but I think he can play nickel corner. He can play outside corner. He can do a lot. So I really like the kid. Only problem is he's not the fastest. So that's where he fits in this scheme, though. He's got that zone coverage ability, and I think in the right downs, maybe on special teams, certain things he could be used. I like the kid. I think he would be a good addition to the team. And maybe if you don't go in those rounds, then you end up going after some of these undrafted potential dudes. And there's definitely some guys you could check out. But let me know how you guys are feeling down below. That was the NFL Draft Positional Outlook. Cornerbacks for the Philadelphia Eagles. And look, we desperately need to address the cornerback position. So we're going to hope that the Eagles do that. And it's in 2 days. So tomorrow I'm going to be back with the safeties. We're going to talk about that position that I feel we need to add to as well. So we're going to talk about where the Eagles could add. Go check out all the other positions. We went through each one, talked about where I feel the Eagles should, some of my potential top guys. And then on draft day, we're going to go through, we're going to talk about who I truly hope the Eagles get. And I'm pumped up because there's so many options. And I'm going to go back and just really look at these lists and be like, who would be the best? Because it's going to be fun. And yes, a lot of these guys won't even be available. But if the Eagles trade up, and we know they can do that. So get excited, stay tuned into that draft. I'm going to keep you updated with anything I hear, whatever's going on. And look, the rumbling is things are about to get wild. Howie's really trying to spruce this thing up. So let's get pumped up, ladies and gentlemen. But I appreciate you taking the time tonight. If you're watching this later, you could always comment down below. I'll always get back to you. Love talking birds anytime. Yo, my man, you also have a blessed night. I really appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you chatting, man. Always nice to talk some birds. And we're going to be talking all day on draft day. And then we're going to be talking on Friday, but then Saturday, as I was saying, man, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be at my kid's game. I'm going to try to do all I can. But if you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you check that out. All that stuff down below at OTR2Victory. Would love to keep in touch with you, man. And look, I will be back with those breakdowns each night, and we'll be going through it. And I'm really, 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 really trying to stay positive here because we have an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to add to all those holes we talked about 2 years ago. Teams in a prime position, if they draft right, they did that last year. Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, Milton Williams, Zach McPherson, Kenny Gainwell. I love Teron Jackson, Patrick Johnson, Teron Jackson, and then Jacoby Stevens. Practice squad guy needs to really work on some things. But man, if you could have another great draft this year, sign me up, man. 10 picks, make it happen, Howie. Let's get excited. I'll be back tomorrow talking about safeties. If you guys need me in between that time, you can reach me on all these platforms. But I appreciate you taking the time watching this video. Thank you for hitting that like button, subscribing to the YouTube channel, hitting that notification bell, coming and talking birds with me. Hope you guys all had a great night. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe out there. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And as always, go birds!